What is up, everyone? Good morning. It is, man, it's like in the 6 o'clock a.m. hour for me right now. But next week, that is October 19th through the 26th, I'm going to be on vacation. I don't know if you can call it vacation. I'm going to be in Iowa, which is where my parents live. And if you have ever, as an adult, gone to go visit your parents, you go, man, I don't know if that's a vacation. I'm flying across the country by myself with Crosby, and I don't know if that's really a vacation, but I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be out of town. So I am here just getting all the stuff ready for the next 3 weeks because I want to have all this stuff ready for you guys for this weekend, which is week 3 of our series. Next weekend on the 25th is week 4, 22nd, 25th is week 4, and then just to jump right in and have week 1 of our next series ready to go. So um, let me just run through with you. Week 3, we're still in the 10 Commandments series road trip. And this week is commandments 5, 6, and 7. And those commandments are honor your father and mother, do not murder, do not commit adultery. And so, in the same way that when we talked about things like don't use the Lord's name in vain, we said, hey, it's not, that doesn't just mean saying or not saying, oh my God. Like when you use the Lord's name, it's, hey, when you say things about God, you need to mean them. So, for example, if you say that I'm a Christian, that means I'm like Christ, or I'm a little Christ, as the original term was. And so, if you say I'm a Christian, and then you go and do all the things that Jesus wouldn't want you to do, well, then that's using His name in vain. So, and we're going to kind of go into some of that. So, like the do not murder. We're going to jump into that New Testament passage where it's like, but if you have hate in your heart for someone, like that's the same thing. So we're going to be talking about, man, how can we have these feelings towards other people? How can we show other people love? So we're going to honor our father and mother. We're going to talk about loving other people slash not hating other people slash not murdering people. And then for do not commit adultery, we're going to talk about keeping your promises. That when you make a commitment to someone, and we're going to say that the intention here was to say, hey, when you make a commitment to marry someone, that means I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. And as a kid, as an 8-year-old, you're not making that commitment to anyone. Sorry guys, the lights are being really like the camera and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, when you make that commitment to someone, you're not doing that as an 8-year-old, but we do make promises to people as 8-year-olds, and so when we make a promise, it's really important that you keep that promise. And then next week, we'll do 8, 9, and 10, which is don't lie, don't steal, don't covet. And so we'll talk about all those next week. But anyway, so that's this week. We're gonna open up with a game called Are We There Yet? And we're gonna have basically think like Candyland. There's gonna be like spots all over the ground, and then we're gonna have the kids. Two kids are gonna be the moving pieces, and then kids in the audience are gonna roll dice, and that's gonna anyway like big foam dice or die. I guess as big as just one, and they're gonna roll it, and however many spaces it is, that's how far the kid moves, and then you're gonna play, and it's gonna be team versus team, probably boys versus girls, but it won't matter where you're sitting, which is why we can do that a little bit easier. So we'll start with that. We'll jump into our excuse me, jump into our story and worship, our worship and story. Song the next 2 weeks is the fruit of the spirit, which is the fun fruit of the spirit song, coconut, because we're talking about love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, with all your mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. This is the of the 10 Commandments. They really have broken this down, and the first 4 are have no idols, have no other gods before me, or sorry, no other gods before me, no idols. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath. Those are all about how we can love God, and then the next 6 are all about how we can love others. And so, when you love others, you have love, and you are showing them patience and gentleness and self-control. Like we're talking about how with the fruits of the spirit actually allow us to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, strength, and love our neighbor as ourselves. So that's why we're doing that song. And then we'll do our story, like I said, and then we'll jump into our small groups where we have an opening question. What's one activity you like to do with your family? And again, because honor your father and mother, don't murder, keep your promises. Those are all important things to do with our family. So we're going to really focus on family this week. And then scripture, you're going to read a passage and then ask some questions about it. An activity, no family feud, where you're basically going to ask kids how they would handle these situations with their family. So for example, you want to stay up late, but an adult says no, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's your grandparents. Someone says, no, you can't. How are you going to handle that situation? Then we will do a game called Traffic Toss. And so this one is just a fun game. So I have these cones, And we have rings. And so you're going to set the rings and cones up. I think it tells you how in the planning center, I believe, in the lesson plan, I believe it says like have 3 cones. There were different points. Do whatever works for our group. So we have like a couple packs of these things. But if it's 8 o'clock, we only have 2 groups. You can have 10 cones, like go for it. But if it's at 9:30, you probably only have 3 or 4 cones, just because the number of kids will have. So um, you have some flexibility there within the game, within that context. So, and then the last one's just prayer. Just pray with your group and finish that way. It is really simple, straightforward week as we try to make it. So we want to be simple and straightforward every week, because I don't want this to be a thing that's stressful for you, and I don't want kids to come in and be confused as to why we're doing things different. I want this to be pretty. Hey, I know what to expect. I know what to do. If a new kid comes in and goes, man, I'm kind of nervous about this, I want you, or I want another kid to be able to just go, oh man, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit in our chairs. We're going to play a game. We're going to worship. We're going to have a story. We're going to go to small groups. And in our small groups, we're going to have questions. We're going to play games. We're going to do a craft or an activity. So um, that's what we got. That's this week. And like I said, you're going to get next week's lesson plan really, really soon. I'm going to try and space it out. I'll probably send it out like right before I leave, like maybe even next Sunday, just so I don't like confuse anyone. Like I do that. I used to send out all my lesson plans at once, like for the whole month. And then I just always look at the wrong one, which is problematic when you get to teach and you're like, all right, today we're talking about Joseph, and then everyone's lesson plan says we're talking about Moses. It's really a nightmare. So, guys, have a great day. Have a great week. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you guys on Thursday night, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace out.